Right. I will mute you on the stream, so I don't hear me twice.
Okay.
And
Oh,
hopefully
I'm already away in Skype. Interesting. Okay. No Skype sounds today. Yep. Hello everyone. Stream is about to start. Just as usual, we will wait for a few minutes.
So people can join.
And watch the commercials.
Let me make a quick commit. And maybe you can show the west map and the kind of finished center map.
Yeah.
To start off, a little bit easing people in.
We can do this. Yeah, well, I just thought I will start with music. If people now complain, I can stop it, obviously. But at the beginning it's so silent, so I thought I would just play some music in the background.
Whoever person guesses the song's name gets a shout out in game.
What?
The song name, not just the game. I don't want to hear the game. Everyone knows the game. It's easy.
Actually, the music changed.
I can't hear it, so...
Yeah.
I just hear myself.
Whoops.
Oh. I hate when applications don't have an uninstaller.
Oh. There
So
are
I don't
applications
know.
like these, really? No one's
Yeah, so I don't know. Well, I don't know. Is there a registry entry for this application or not? I can't find it in the uninstall dialog provided by Windows, so I guess there is no registry entry, and I just delete the folder. YOLO all the way.
I don't know the game. Games are for kids.
Then you come to the right place, my friend.
Yeah.
Because we are going to develop stuff. Hardcore coding today.
So, I mean, this song now, so people should realize which one that is. I mean, which game it is, at least. Almost.
Yeah, there's some people. Atlas knows. Well, a mod can't know. Let the people. Do I get a shout out in game now?
Well, it's not the
Probably.
Underworld theme, actually. So I'm not sure.
Can you write me in Skype what it was?
Yeah, sure. Wait.
I can't hear it, so I simply have to know. But all right. I know how it sounds. Yeah. I remembered.
Okay, so I guess we waited long enough. So I'm not sure if I should play music in the background, maybe not the whole time. Might be way too disorienting.
Maybe, did you do Facebook, by the way?
Yesterday I did Facebook, I'm not sure that's enough.
Let me do it now.
Okay. Yes, Atlas, that's the Overworld theme. Congratulations. Okay. Whoa. Two people doing multitasking, like watching the stream, doing stuff next to it. I couldn't do that. I can't even talk and do stuff next to it, mostly. The Underworld theme, sure. If I actually would know the name.
Underworld theme.
Really?
Yeah, I think the original title is just Underworld.
I don't see it.
Basically the best Underworld in any game, because it wasn't scrolling like
Nope.
on surface it was in surface, so it looked like you were inside a ball and just running around a ball inside a ball, which was pretty cool. And when you got to the overworld, it was like outside of the ball. I loved it.
Oh, I just realized I may not have this song here because it's not the complete soundtrack. It's just some subset. I don't know. I didn't select the song. Somebody else did.
No, didn't OC Remix did a complete like orchestra version of it? I think so, right?
I don't know.
I remember Flashirt talking about it.
I'm not always a huge fan of orchestra remixes. Really depends.
No. It's not like they basically make the same music exactly in the game as it sounds in the game, but without these MIDI instruments. I can give it to you someday. It's from the remix, so I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I actually did a metal cover of the Underworld.
Oh. Yeah, that's actually a good point. If a stream is lagging, the music is lagging. That's really annoying, I guess. That's a good point.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Hopefully in my new apartment I can
I don't know. I mean, I'm at university internet. It's about the best internet you can get here. So
But your upstream is good, but the downstream
no, the downstream is good too. Everything is insanely good at university.
No. I mean the downstream for some people.
Oh, yeah.
So it's lagging for them.
But then it doesn't help no matter from where you stream.
That's true.
So yeah. Anyway, so no music then, I guess. So, today we want to do some programming again. Or let me now start in a different way. So first let me introduce myself. I'm Felix, for those who joined.
Wait, the CrossCode
the
page is
first
down?
time?
No, it's not down.
It's not?
No. So sorry. Go ahead, Felix.
It's not down, at least not for me. Yeah, our provider seems to make troubles these days. Anyway, so I'm Felix, aka Luxen, and with me on Skype again is Stefan, aka RD.
Hey, everyone.
So yeah, and today we will do some programming. Plan is that we will work on our editors again. We did this a couple of times. Today we will work on a new feature that allows us to set entities more quickly. That's actually something we will need pretty soon, so it's something I want to work on today. And
Also, before we go any further, let's also welcome Atleser, our usual stream moderator, and Geflügel, who's also in chat.
oh yeah, sure. Yeah, today
And
Geflügel is not in Skype, it's Stefan instead again.
we're doing the switcheroo.
Yeah, we just switch it around here and there.
Next time it's Geflügel again.
Yeah. Sometime you may also do the stream yourself, right?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Soon.
Because I get the
Because
impression people are getting. I
yeah.
get the impression that people get sick of me. I'm this guy here on stream, and I want to see other people.
Everybody loves you. Everybody
working.
loves you.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Everybody loves the Luxen.
I mean, we are a huge team, so it would be nice to see some other people on the camera as well.
Yeah, so hopefully in my new apartment I can do that because I'm going to have really good internet connection there. I mean, it's Berlin, right? So even my mobile network is faster than my network at my home right now. That crazy.
Yep. Makes sense. I mean, it's a large city. It's supposed to have good internet, otherwise something is wrong.
It's also very centric in Berlin, so.
Okay. So before we now start doing the work, we wanted to show some recent progress, right?
Yes.
Like what we added recently. Do I have to update the game? Did you push something?
I pushed. You just need to fetch and rebus.
Okay, I'm gonna do that first.
Good enough to stream it, Lesser. I'm not sure what exactly comes we will get, but it's something around 20.
Just constantly changing that file. It's never not changed.
What file?
Burgundy PSD. Some update of whatever. Okay. Now I just started having the bad habit of always typing my password into Git when it's not actually required. So that's why I actually moved the Git console outside of the recording screen, because I'm pretty sure people would see my password then.
Yeah, never show.
Maybe I should
don't
show my
show the
desktop.
password length.
The password length, yeah, you don't see it when you type it in the command line. That's no issue. Okay, so here you can see recent changes. Yeah. Right. So should I show the center map?
Yeah. Also, did you reduce the resolution?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Don't you see it? It's not full HD.
No, I can't possibly judge that from. I don't have you in full screen, so.
Okay. So, here's the game, hopefully. Maybe it will start too. Okay.
Did we manage to fix the nasty bug where layer was rendered above cliffs that was present last week? I think I know what you mean.
That's
We
actually
did.
not a bug. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that happened during last stream. That's actually not a bug. It's more like how the rendering works. I just found out if you have like a layer level differences of more than 2 tiles, like 4 tiles, it's actually very likely that you will have certain cliff constructions where the where layer is simply rendered in front of the cliffs, because
I see. I already see.
maybe you know what I mean, right? I mean, that's something
Yeah,
that's
I know.
it's not really well, it is a bug strictly speaking, but it's not something unexpected. It's just how the rendering works. There's ways to fix that, but so that's just a case by case thing. So not a general issue.
Yeah. Is there any chance that we'll get partnered with Twitch anytime soon? I don't know.
I know
We
if
probably
that
have to
works.
look into that. For now, we're really into development right now,
Yep.
and it's really good because everyone does maps. Felix does graphics, and
Oh, so many graphics.
yeah, and
Okay. And also a lot of coding between always. You know?
yeah, coding.
Like
is
I always do
oh,
maps, and then I realize I need to fix something in that editor. It
yeah,
always goes back
like
and
the
forth.
height map.
Yeah, the
stuff.
hype map was extended a lot last week. I mean, in last dev stream I actually showed you how we work with the height map, and since then a lot of stuff changed. I can show you this later. So let's just show the new content first. I will start in the source map again. Boop-de-doop, Rookie Harbor, South, teleport. Maybe I will also show our temporary music.
Oh, please don't.
Of
For
course.
some reason, you
I
all
know.
think this is good music. I can't
No,
agree.
I don't think that's good music. It's just funny. So, okay. So what I like, this is your Rookie Harbor. You have already seen this map. Nothing changed here really, but up here you find now the city center. We worked on this. There's a lot of details now. There's a fountain where you can jump in. There's actually still a bit of collision bugs here. Anyway, so I mean, we're not
yeah.
we're
go
not
ahead.
perfectly sure if you will actually drown in the fountain. There's also the idea that you can actually run the water, but that's a bit more work to do. So for now, you just drown when you jump into the fountain.
Yeah.
So
Actually, 3 people worked on this map.
3 were, yeah, that's true, yeah.
3. Like, in total, it was 3 people.
Yeah, it was Stefan, Henne, and
And-
me, really, pretty much. Okay.
Yeah, I think the result is really good. Like, there's a lot to explore. Don't show the exploring stuff. People can explore this stuff later on. But
Okay.
you can go to the west now.
I think I already showed the puzzle here.
Yeah, the puzzle's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a little gimmick.
So where should I go?
You can go to the west now.
Oh, to the
I mean,
west.
we already showed north, but
Did
I
we?
guess I don't know.
I can just quickly go through the north. I mean,
Yeah.
it also got a bit more detail. It's not quite as detailed yet, but you see
Also, I
there's-
will take a look at our our Skype conversation if Atlasser posts any questions, which we'll probably miss. Yeah. North map. I think Hannah is right now working on those house facades, coming along very nicely. Probably adding all those vines soon.
Yep.
Here I'm already seeing something. I have to work on that. There are some stuff missing I wanted to add.
Yeah, and there's here and there there's some small graphic issues, but I mean, it's a huge city. I mean, I didn't really expect it to become that big. I hope we can fill it with enough interesting content. Here's another small park. That seems to be a very special bench, I think, in the west map here. It's like, it's a huge build-up. You go, there's like the trees, then there's a couple of bushes, and then there's one bench. There.
I loved it. I did this on purpose because I found it very
interesting.
I found like, all right, this is like totally ridiculous. Who builds this?
Yeah.
Like who builds this?
And here you're gonna go
to a fountain there.
A fountain, okay.
But I thought like, no, we need some graphics for that, so rather not do that.
We just have to see some very special NPC at this point.
Yeah, right. So here you can already see that we have a smooth transition from the city to the autumn area.
Yeah.
Which is not quite done yet, but I will be done.
I mean, it's not too much stuff here, but yeah, anyway, we're working on it. It's a lot of content.
It's funny in this map how I did a simple trick. Like I was concerned that the map was too small, so I just did this like circle. You need to go. You go up or down.
Okay.
And it's basically the same way, but there's this house in the middle, or these two houses you need to walk past, and so you can create some interesting like streets.
Okay.
In the beginning, it was just one way from right to left, and it kind of looked a little bit boring.
The thing is that this is actually not a very meaningful construction for a city, you know. Usually cities evolve around streets, and the streets usually go straight because that's where people go along. And this sounds kind of artificial. It seems kind of artificial that way, but yeah. I mean,
we are on an artificial planet. Well, not artificial, but the city is artificial.
I just hope people are not too annoyed that they have to go up and down again, all over again.
Nah, if they are, we can change it.
Okay.
If it's really that bad, we can just.
I mean, it's not that bad because you just have to go up a bit, and it's not such a huge.
The up path is faster.
Yeah, I realized that. Okay. Anyway, so that's all we can show for Rookie Harbor so far, but I can also show a bit about Bergen Trail.
Could you please rename the sparkly boots to sparkling boots? Why? Why should we do that?
To what? Sparkling?
Sparkling instead of sparkly.
Isn't it sparkling boots? I think it is sparkling.
Go into the menu.
Yeah, look, it's yeah, okay. I didn't do that. I thought it was. It was supposed to be sparkling boots, not sparkly boots.
Me neither. I didn't do anything.
Maybe we just messed that up. Yeah, we're gonna update then this eventually. It's supposed to be sparkling boots, not sparkly boots. Because sparkly is not really a word, I found out. Anyway, so yeah, you fix that.
It's Eigenname.
Okay, also now I'm working in sparkling boots because 4 reasons. Okay, I will show Bergen Trail too, because that's a new area we have been working on as well. And the music continues.
You guys should have a graveyard of all the beta testers' names in it. I actually planned on adding some beta tester stuff here in Rookie Harbor because we kind of have to put them somewhere. So
yeah,
a graveyard. I would make a graveyard somewhere else. Yeah, Bergen Trail.
So this is Bergen Trail, and so then a lot of graphics appeared this week. So all the trees have been added here. These small plants that you can walk through again, and of course a few destructibles already. Like I added 2 types, one of these like with a lot of plants, and then there's one with less plants and more like a mixture of branches. I don't know, it's kind of like it's more wood than actually a plant, but anyway, just 2 ideas for destructibles. And yeah, you can see there's actually, so a lot of new stuff was implemented to make this web work in the editor. We really improved the auto tiles a lot, because before it was kind of a pain to work with auto tiles. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It was not always updated properly. And then here we have actually a very complex structure when it comes to the ground. You have like in the middle, there's all this earth. Then you have like these patches of grass. And up there you even got a bit of snow. Actually, this border here is something I want to fix. That's not the final version. Right now it just looks like the cliff is just put on top of the snow, which is exactly what happened. I just plan to add some snow here later on to make this more.
This is just a test.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's work in progress in general, but I think mostly for the snow I want to improve that. For the grass it actually doesn't look all that bad. I think it looks okay-ish.
No. I think it looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the challenge here was that you have different kind of terrains, and it was difficult to map this because I mean, adding the grass inside the ground is easy enough, but actually I think I will just show this in the editor now, because it's easier to explain that way. So, do you see? No, you don't. So here's my monitor.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think especially with these different ground tiles, you can already create very interesting ground structures, and it will get very interesting. Like we already showed the layout from Bergen Trail, and there's some very, very crazy stuff, like these large stone structures which you can walk on and we can jump on, and
yep,
there's actually going to be a new entity for that will boost you up.
Yep, that's actually something I wanted to design too today, but didn't get around to do it. I will do this probably tomorrow.
Yeah, today is entity brush time.
Yep. Anyway, just wanted to quickly demonstrate this height map feature that I implemented. I mean, we already talked to you about, already presented this in the last devlog. But I think it's nice to show it how exactly it works in the stream.
Yeah, definitely.
So so this is pretty much how the height map worked before. You have just different levels that you can map, and then you just generate, press A or Shift A, and then you just generate all the cliffs from that height map. And that's what we already used in Autumn Rise, and it really helps a lot to speed up mapping, because doing these cliffs by hand is so much work. You literally, to do this here, what you see here, you probably spent an hour or maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, no, you don't even imagine how much time you spend doing cliffs if you don't have this kind of feature. That's just ridiculous.
So, and now we have this, and that's great, but in Autumn, in Bergen Trail, you actually got different type of ground terrains. So we got the grass that you saw before, and that's just an auto tile, and you can see that it works pretty well. You can just drag it over the ground here, and it automatically forms this nice shape. It's kind of like how auto tiles work in RPG Maker, but the problem is when you get close to the terrain, you want it to merge into the terrain. So you want to have when you get close to the cliff, you want to merge it with the cliff tiles. That means that the grass goes up to the cliff and there's no earth in between the grass and the cliff. And this doesn't work. To do this, you have to now do it manually. So you can always press Shift in our editor to essentially skip the auto tiles. And then you can do it by hand. And here comes the problem. There's always some ground that you will see inside the cliff tile. And to really properly integrate it, you need to replace this tile with something that contains grass, like this one.
Yep.
And doing this by hand, I thought this is probably very impractical. And I'm pretty sure if you do this for a large map, you will probably waste a lot of time doing this right. So I thought maybe it's worthwhile to help this, to create a tool to make this automatically for you. So so that's why I extended the height maps. So now you do not only have different heights, but also different heights with different terrain types. And at the beginning we had different colors. Now I just added these kind of patterns in the symbols.
I noticed this today.
Yeah,
Actually, I didn't notice it until today.
I think it
Yeah,
works better a bit because
yeah. The patterns are completely fine. I was just concerned with the
yeah,
darker colors, and I like
like
these
yeah,
sparkling
at the
colors a lot.
beginning, actually, from the GIF I posted, you saw that we had this kind of very subtle hue changes for the symbols, and that was kind of too confusing when you did the actual height map because you couldn't see the different heights too well. So we made these strong color difference, and now we have different patterns for the terrain instead. So that works pretty well. So what I did is you do not only specify the height, but also the terrain type, and then you can just generate this and it automatically puts the right terrain there. So this really, I think this will really speed up the map creation process for Autumn,
So much.
for Bergen Trail, and I think that's really works well because that's something we realized a lot, that creating those maps takes a lot of time. So even if you spend a day implementing a feature like this, you probably will save 2 or 3 days in mapping.
Now,
So
when probably more,
probably
I would
more.
I
Yeah, it
would
depends on how
totally
many
guess.
maps you create. And if you think about the future, because there will be different areas that probably will have different terrains as well. Actually, in fact, we can also use the same thing for water. That's actually already something I didn't even
Hmm.
realize at the beginning, but yeah, once we have terrains, of course, you can also do water that way. And because in autumn area, we actually always did the water more or less manually, which wasn't too much work because you could simply just replace all the tiles. But still, it's much faster this way now. You just
Yeah.
have it
Also,
all the
something
information. Yeah.
something that I really like about this is like creating maps becomes much more of designing map, but not just like, oh, we need a map here. Like when I think back to the RPG Maker community, it was like, all right, I need a map here, and I want this path, and I do the minimum amount of work for the cliffs, and everything more is just too much work. So you spend less time on creating um, more natural shapes, and you can see this in a lot of these old school games with tiled graphics, that cliffs are always like they are horizontal or vertical. Like you can always kind of see
Depends. I
how
mean,
they.
do you know how Cycling the Zetsu cliffs look like?
I like them. I like them. There's an exception. Terranigma is an exception too. But there's also games
Yeah.
where like Final Fantasy, for instance, where I thought like, it's like you can see that it was a lot of work to do, right?
Mm.
Because they had to menu place the tiles. So with a tool like that, you can like create cool ideas and shapes. Like the last two maps from the autumn area
Hmm.
are totally different than the layout, because suddenly we had this height map thingy,
Yep.
and we could create much more interesting
Much more
stuff with it.
confusing height combinations, so nobody can figure out the height of the maps.
Right. It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
I hope with Bergen Trails gets a little bit easier because it's always going up.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, also, yeah, of course, you have different type of terrains. I can also map some ice. I probably should show this too. Here.
Just answering a quick question by Vortex Robo. Will be beta
Whoops.
testing be open to everyone on Steam? Everyone who gets into early access, basically, yes. But the difference is that all the backers not only got the Steam version of the game, but also get a DRM-free version of the game, and of course the credits entry. And there's also going to be a beta forum.
Yeah. It's sometimes I think we don't actually currently don't see any difference between beta testing and early access, but maybe
Yeah.
we should do some difference because we probably should do some testing before we push versions to early access. And maybe we should also try to find a few players that will help us doing the beta test before we push stuff on early access.
Well, if we take the Indiegogo backers, then that basically means I know we can do this in Steam to like access to beta versions of the game.
Hmm.
Like that's a thing. We got the same thing with our friend Paul from IndieCards.
Oh yes, yes.
So it should be somehow possible to like make a build that's a beta version, and only those people that have a beta key can get access to that um, stuff. So yeah, we can look into
Yeah.
that.
But otherwise, so all early access users essentially to some extent beta testers, because you will just get versions of the game which hopefully will not be entirely broken, but there might be bugs, so you can always report things. And actually something that's already inside early access, which we didn't tell anybody, is a feature to send suggestions to change the dialogue. This text edit feature is actually inside, it's already integrated in early access. You just have to tell people that they can use this. It's something we should do next week, I think, or something. And something we should do too is probably add some stuff for watcher perks already.
Yeah.
That's something we kind of forgot.
Yeah, it's like we're going pretty fast right now. I guess we're doing it because we want to make sure that everyone is satisfied.
We just want to see how fast we can actually implement content.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, I'm still kind of nervous if we can manage to create this game in 1 year. I'm not really sure if that works. So right now I'm really focusing on content to actually see how fast we can create content if we really put most of our time in it. And see from that I can actually now start to estimate how realistic it is that we can create this game in the year we have.
Yeah.
So that's why we are focusing more on content, less on other stuff.
Just answering a quick question here. Is the early access being updated, or is it just a demo at the moment? Early access is not being updated. I think the next version will be at 2.2.
2.0, yeah. 0.2.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
2.0. Until now, it's the same as the free demo, which will be changed next week, as we announced. But there's already some extra content, like the trading feature, and there's a lot of grinding involved in getting the strongest item, like the Giga Quadrille, I think.
Yeah.
You need a lot of time, or I don't know if you need a lot of time, but we need some special water plant graphic. Maybe I can assign Tiku to this task. Because right now people are a little bit confused about getting the Azure Dragonfly.
Oh yes, you mean like we should update the destructible graphics, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We should add another one that actually shows you that it's a better destructible. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll do this soon anyway. So, I mean, now we showed what progress we had. Actually, already half an hour is gone. Now we should, I think, start working on the entity brush feature. And just to quickly explain you what exactly this feature is. Entities are all the dynamic shapes we can place in our game. Like the player is an entity, but also all these plants here are entities. And it turns out that some of the maps have a lot of these plants. In Autumn Rise, let me just show you this one map from Henna. The one that used to have over 1,000 entities.
Yeah, we
That was
reduced it to
insane.
exactly 1,000.
So just imagine all of these plants, they're all entities. And to place those entities, what you have to do right now is the following. You just select the plant, you copy it with Control-C, then you paste it with Control-V. And you do this over and over again. And of course you want to have a variation of plants. So what you do is you always select different plants, you paste them, then you adjust them. You again select them here, you paste them. And that's actually a lot of work to do it this way. So, and since we have a lot of these entities in the map, that's again a huge time waster. Also for trees, you have to do exactly the same thing. You always copy the tree, you paste it, and you paste it again. And you have to always manually switch entities because you want to make sure there's enough variation. So what we plan to add is some kind of entity brush. And the idea is that it will allow you to select a range or list of entities. And then whenever you click on the map, it will randomly spawn one of these entities at this point. And this should help you a lot to set these kind of random entity combinations more quickly. And if we manage to do this, we will also add a drag feature, so you actually drag your cursor over the map, and now, like with every 8 pixel differences, you will spawn another entity or something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's at least the plan. And yeah, so now we gotta start implement this. I'm not sure how far we will get with this today, because it's a pretty large feature. But I think for now I will just do it without the save and load feature. My plan is that I will define a key, and when you press this key you will enter the entity brush mode, and then when you shift click an entity you will add it to a list, and then when you press it somewhere you will just randomly spawn one of the entities that you selected. That's the idea for now. And I think that's something we can implement during the stream. And then we will see how far we get after this.
So many trees. Yeah, like Hannah did some work on this map.
Yeah, Hannah kind of tends to overdo it a bit with number of entities. So, don't want to save any of this. Something is wrong with my nose today. Hi, Freeze. All right. What is this? Playfield HQ? Okay. Yeah. Let's do some coding.
I love coding. I didn't code in a while. Well, I did code, but it was like the last thing I did was, I think, the last used maps.
Last used maps, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm also not doing that much coding these days. Okay, height map, no. map.js. Yeah, I'm just gonna hack this into WM map. Which key should we use for this feature, Stefan? What key should activate entity brush?
Do we use B?
Nope. Yeah,
No,
B
well
makes sense.
then you got your
B
key.
for brush. Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
B for brush. Don't you want to use the config for that?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can't. I have to select
Yes.
the lag.
Currently thinking how to implement this the best way, but yeah.
How should I send feedback about the game? You can use our email address, which is feedback@radicalfishgames.com. Let me write it down for you. Yeah, sorry, Felix. Go ahead.
Nothing important I had to say. Just, I mean, our editor is kind of confusing in a way that there's two ways how we can react to input. One is like the normal impact compatible way where you just get the state of each press key. And the other one is kind of this UI key down. And I think I actually will use the UI key down for this. It kind of makes sense, I think. And then I don't need to register the key at all. Okay. Yeah, because like the entity copy and paste is actually implemented this way too. So.
Yeah, so you can also write us on Facebook and Twitter. We will try to answer. However, Facebook sometimes has this just one notification window, and sometimes it gets a little bit hard to see that we got a new message. Oh yeah, we also have a feedback forum. That's true.
Actually, I'm gonna implement a new file for this because the word
you can find here.
I create a new module for this because our editor, map editor file is just too huge. There's so much stuff in there. We should avoid adding more code there. Entity brush, that's just a member of the map editor class in the end. So
The sound of typing code
yeah,
in the evening. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
I think drawing is kind of nice too. Sometimes.
Yeah, you can draw. I can't do it, so.
Look, even now Teflo started drawing, and all of a sudden he can do it.
Yeah, well, come on. I do a lot of edits for the Rookie Harbor area.
Yeah, so you see, you're not so bad either, I guess.
Yeah, editing stuff. Creating stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm good at making layouts and maps.
Yep. Okay, entity brush. So what? Entity list is something we have. This stores then all the entities we're currently having in our brush, and it's actually a collection of settings, like a type and settings, because that's all we need to spawn the entity. And there's also like a probability. So actually let's add a function for this. Add entity to list. That's like entity type. That's the class. Could actually be a string. Should be a string, I guess, yeah. Do we have, yeah. And settings.
Yes, I look at the Skype channel at Lesser. You probably get your shout out. I read you. Everything's okay. Maybe trees without right angles are malformed. Any mention of malformed trees or inner plants and punishable by at least 10 seconds of timeout.
Yes. I mean, why would you talk about any malformed trees? I mean, all the trees in CrossCode are beautiful, right?
Yeah, and very round shaped.
And very round shaped and regular and not suspicious at all. Settings, probability. So you should also be able to set the probability for each entity. Is probably something we're going to implement later too.
Yeah.
For now, I just say probability is probability. Yes, it's correct.
Probability.
It's a complicated word.
Damn, should I look this or League of Legends tournament? Why would you watch League of Legends tournament when you can see a game being developed right in front of your eyes? Not people screaming at each other. That's my view on mobile games. People screaming at each other. No, it's probably not that. People are actually pretty cool when they play, especially in teams. When people know each other, they're like, "All right, yeah, now go first lane, gank the shit out of them and stuff." And whoa, I don't know the terminology.
Okay, still thinking about the interface here. Brush start, brush move, and brush end. It's just gonna implement those 3 callbacks. Yeah.
All them functions.
So I'm already thinking about how to implement this dragging feature. Probably you can specify like a pixel gap, and if your cursor moved this amount of pixels, it will spawn another entity. And that's how I can kind of like specify the gapping. That's an idea, at least, I think.
Do you want to do this with a fixed setting, or is this something you want to make available as an option.
I think it's
in
something
Brush.
you can specify for each brush in the end.
All right. I think
Yeah.
that's better. You use class.js. We don't use class.js. We use impact.js, which uses an class system, but it's not class.js.
Is it not? I'm not sure. I think it's copied from somewhere. It might be class.js, but I'm not sure.
If it's from John Riesick, I think, then it's class.js.
The
but
jQuery,
it's not,
the jQuery guy, yeah.
because this the class thingy is from Impact copied that from basically from John Riesick's blog post some years back. I don't know. No. I just saw the class JS API. We don't use class.js. It has like additional functions and like a version, no conflict, but it uses the same idea with parent and everything. I like that.
Oh yeah, one thing about height. The thing is on which height do you place the entity. Actually, something I plan to do is that you can actually I try to find out the height depending on the collision map. I just look at the collision maps and find out the height on where to place the entity on this certain point.
That sounds
make sense?
like an idea. Yeah.
So I mean there are some issues with that because if you want to place some entity behind a cliff, that won't work, but usually you want to place it always where you can see the ground. So I would just do this for now.
It always should be, yeah. But what if you want to place an entity behind something, like an autumn area?
Yeah. That's what I talked about. So if you want to place something behind a cliff, it won't work. But that's not a very common use case. I mean, most of the entities.
Are you sure? I'm not so sure about that. Maybe. Wait. Why not? Say if you hold Shift, it finds the level, and if not, you set it or something like that.
Or it will just use the last level that was used.
Yeah. That sounds like an idea. So we can use modifier keys for that. Maybe default should be that it automatically searches for the tile to place it on, and Shift should ignoring the automatic process.
I think it should be Alt though, because
or Alt. Yeah, it's okay. Alt or Shift, I don't care. As
control.
long as
Alt, it must be Alt.
maybe
Shift is for selecting, because Shift you use to select the entities for the brush. I mean, for now, we'll just implement that. It will always use the level 0, and then we will see. Okay. Yeah, there's also this thing that we always place entities in the center of a certain point. I mean, usually, actually, that's one of the things I kind of regret, that we just kept doing this. That the entity position is always the upper left corner. So the position is in the upper left corner of the entity, and that's actually not a good idea. It would have been much better if that point is the center point of the entity, because it makes it really hard to replace entities with a version which might be larger or less large, and then it's always in the wrong position. I had this problem a couple of times already. But yeah, it can't be helped. I mean, at this point we can't really change this. It would be too much work. So I think the idea I have is that you first spawn the entity, and after I spawn the entity I know how big it is, and then I will just move it to center it around the point. It's kind of cheating, but yeah, I think it will work.
How do we do this when we paste? And when we paste, I basically just take the mouse position and subtract the half of the entity's width and height.
Oh, you did this actually. Yeah, you probably did exactly this. You first paste the entity and then you get Let me just look at the code.
Yeah, look at it. I don't know if I set the position after that or if I did this in the constructor.
What is this? Oops, no, that's not correct.
No, you have to look in the code for that, yeah.
Oh, I see what you did. So whenever you copy a sprite, you actually save the size of that sprite. And then you use that size
right.
when you
That's
paste
what I
it.
did.
Actually, that's pretty clever. That's actually something we can do too. So whenever you set an entity, I will just actually add entity to list. I will just pass the entity itself, and then we can extract all the data from that entity. That makes more sense. So we do the same. We will just, whenever you add an entity to a brush, I will just store the size of that entity, and then we can use that to put it in the center of the point. That makes sense. Okay. Just need to find that. Copy is such a great method name. It's like everywhere. So here. And look, it's exactly what we need. Class name, XY. We don't need XYZ, but anything else. Okay.
And so it's guys, do you plan to support 16 by 10 aspect ratio resolutions? Oh,
Nope.
not sure. No, probably not. No.
Unlikely.
The problem is that we have a fixed resolution, which is pretty small, actually. And based on that, we actually do scenes and everything, right? So it's not like like in 3D, you can do this kind of stuff where you can just scale interfaces with the size of don't scale interfaces with the size of the screen, but the 3D model, so it looks like more high res and stuff. But with 2D graphics, that kind of gets a little bit hard to do. And if we have like scenes and we depend on these scenes that we know the width of the screen, then the scene might be broken. The same goes for the menus and stuff like that.
Yep. Okay, I just made that the entity is added. I really hope this will work out. Actually, target entity brush.
I prefer quite a sheds, to be honest. I don't care. I like when it's crowded, people are asking questions, and so there's something to talk about. Well, by coding, I think we both, you and me, we can talk about coding all day if we want.
Yeah.
Especially about the beauty that is JavaScript.
Oh,
and
man.
how any other language is just not cool.
Oh my.
Let's spill oil into the fire.
Yeah, like all the other languages are clearly inferior to JavaScript.
Yeah,
That's
like JavaScript
that needs to be
the best
discussed.
language ever, period.
Yeah.
How can you even try to match
Oh
this
yeah, Freeze is
with your
talking to me in Skype.
While we're streaming, talk about timing.
Oh, actually our concept artist Freeze just told me that he has one concept art finished. Maybe you can just look at this in the stream.
Oh yeah. One quick X course.
Actually, he's here in the chat, and that's Freeze. That's our concept artist.
Yeah, can
Say
you
hi.
mod him? Can you mod him?
Yes, I will do this now.
Please mod him
I
so
will
people
ban
know.
him instead.
Talking about 1,136 times 640 sounds too strange to me. Is there any reason to a specific number? Won't the game lose all of its sharpness on the usual screen resolutions? The resolution is not 1,000, it's half of it.
Yeah, it's just 568 times 320, and it's kind of like not. Yeah, it kind of like it was optimized for the iPhone screen at the beginning, which was stupid because it turned out I didn't implement it for the iPhone. And it just evolved from that. Just made it to 16 to if you take like the old iPhone resolution, like half of it, and then you scale it up to full to 16 to 9 resolution, you get kind of like this resolution. That's it. And I agree that it's not like the best resolution for modern screens, but at this point it's really not feasible to change this. If we now change the resolution, we have a lot of work to just redesign all our menus, and like all the scenes and all the maps will look differently. Just scaling up the screen, you would see much more content on the screen, and the game would feel differently. Leia might seem too small than Leia is already pretty small on the screen. If you increase the resolution, it's even smaller. So it's something I really don't want to do. Change the resolution would change the whole way the game feels. And it's pretty fixed, unfortunately.
Freeze just asked if you can invite him into the Skype conversation. Is there something you want to talk about, Freeze, with us right now?
I mean, I can do this.
Or can us? Yeah, I don't know if it's something like work related. We're currently streaming.
Yeah, he knows that we are streaming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about this concept art, obviously, I think. Or what do you mean?
Yeah, I know, invite him. I was just like, he knows that we're streaming.
It kind of sounded like you thought he didn't.
No, it's alright, Chrono Trigger was 256 times 224 and looks good. Yeah, I think the question wasn't exactly about the like how small it was. At least I would say so.
Hey.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Freeze. Okay, so you have a new concept art for us.
Exactly.
So we can actually show some graphics next to all the coding we have today.
Yeah.
So, we just need a link, that's all really.
I sent it you in. I sent it to you in Skype. Yeah.
One of the many Skype windows I don't see.
Why do you use Windows?
Because most people do these days. Really.
Do you know about SMT franchise? That's probably Shin Megami Tensei, huh? I should simply assume it's Shin Megami Tensei. I know some games. I only played Persona from the Shin Megami Tensei franchise. And I think something else, something with devil in the name. Oh, and this one game where you have this guy, and he has two girlfriends, and they're both named Catherine. I don't know the name of the game anymore. But it was like a puzzler. Like
you mean this? Catherine, wasn't it? Wasn't that the name?
That's the name of the girls. Yeah.
I think it was also the name of the game.
It wasn't okay. All right. Yeah, probably. I remember playing it on one playthrough, like through the night.
Really? Okay.
Because it was interesting.
Catherine. Yeah, that's the name.
Catherine. Exactly. Right. Like all right.
That was a nice game.
Is this an SMT game? I don't know, but it kind of looked like it.
Yeah, it is. I think it is from the same franchise somehow.
It kind of has this weird graphic style.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd simply assume it.
So anyway, here we have a new concept art. Look it. It's that's actually now one of the next dungeons you will see in the game. So that's a concept art that Freeze created.
Yes, exactly. This time I put more value into the creating the concept art with the with the top-down view, like in CrossCode. No, it's not exactly this view, but
yeah, it comes pretty close, and that's actually pretty cool. We can reuse those graphics more or less directly for the sprite art.
yeah, that was the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice, I think.
Okay.
I think the colors there might be. I think probably would change the colors a bit to make it more like have a stronger color shift in the gradients. Right now it seems like it's pretty monotone in the colors, so it's just dark blue and light blue. Maybe like I would let it move slightly into magenta, I think. In the darker colors. That's at least an idea.
The stones.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
That's just an idea though. But at least the structures are pretty cool. That's something. I think that's something we can use.
There's just one problem when you say magenta. It's like a little bit warmer than cold.
Yeah, magenta's probably wasn't really. Probably more like violet.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I think
only slightly. So just at least, or maybe instead make the light tones move towards green. I'm not. So it's kind of like how we have the colors in our code effects, because they have a small color shift from bright to dark colors.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I thought was that maybe if you got some special wishes, we can next time, I don't know, after the stream or some time, we can do it together, like the colors, and then you say, okay, this color is good, and then I do it for the whole picture after.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, but looks cool.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Very nice. Okay.
Minecart puzzles incoming.
Yeah. Also, those minecarts won't rotate because I don't want to sprite that. That's too much.
No. It's the future. They just hover.
They just hover over the line.
Yeah, it's just look at the minecart in the middle. This is one minecart, but I remember that we talk about a flat minecart, like a platform, and this one is at the right side.
I thought it was a stopper.
No. It's the stopper is right underneath it, like.
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
I mean, we might be able to do cars, but that's a bit more work. Okay.
And, yeah.
I like platforms. Something else.
Okay, and there's an ice block too. All right. Yeah, I will go back to programming now.
Okay.
Programming.
Yeah, so we guess we talk later about it, huh?
Sure. Yeah, if you want, you can leave again. That was very quick then, but you can also stay if you want to.
Yeah. Now I make something to eat.
All right, then. Have a nice meal.
Stream.
Guten Hunger.
Guten Hunger.
Danke.
Exactly. Okay, bye.
Bye.
And freezes gun.
I still don't know what you say in English.
There is no equivalent.
Way to go, English.
There's just enjoy or something.
Enjoy your meal.
Or bon appetit, which is actually French. So we were doing the entity brush. That's a meaningful comment. Entity brush is the entity brush.
Could you tweet that concept? I can do this later on.
Yeah, we can do this later. Or you will see it in one of our next updates.
Yeah, that's probably better. Always reserve this kind of stuff for the update.
So here's some inference. Okay.
I really have to say I just love how this looks, right?
What looks?
Our code.
You mean the class system or what?
Yeah, the class system, how we like came up. Like we have like a design bible for the code. Like there are some conventions Felix and I use
Hmm.
when we code, and I just like it like lower camel case in methods. I don't accept large uppercase.
Okay.
Or like how every closure variable is starting with a C and then an underline. It's always better like to have this kind of
Yeah, conventions are good.
Yeah, because it's hard to like get into the code of someone else otherwise. All right, I do these headers all the time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but you could leave them and you would still know where the methods are and everything. Oh, I don't understand what he's doing. Felix is currently creating a new class. Right now, not right now, but
I did this before. What I'm now doing is I just added an instance of that class in our map editor class, and now I'm implementing how the entity brush is actually set to active.
yeah, Felix, there's a very important question right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Vegeta, I always ask this myself. I always wonder that myself. Felix, why don't you use the dark theme for your IDE?
I know, because I like the light theme. It's I'm just got used to it. I know it's
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It's just getting used to it.
whatever.
I think it's
use
better.
your
when
dark
you-
themes always. I don't get it.
I think it's better on my eyes personally, because the white background like burns so much in the eyes.
Yeah, your eyes can't take it. Like
Yeah, like it's the same with sun. I can take the sun. It's just too much.
I also
brightness.
don't like the sun, but I like white themes.
I have to say, like, too much white. But it's just taste, I think. Where do you guys live? In Germany.
Yup, Germany. I'm from Saarbrücken. That's like
I'm
the
from-
biggest city in the smallest state of Germany.
Well phrased. I'm from Brandenburg and soon Berlin.
Okay.
Classes uppercased, camel methods lowercased. Yeah, all interface start with caped, and constants are named with underscores instead of camel case. Yeah, that's basically what we do. Constants are also mostly uppercase.
Okay, something I want to do is that the entity settings will actually disappear when you activate the brush, because you don't need them. There's no way that you can influence the settings. And instead I will probably display the brush settings in this area. That's something I will do, I think. And this, oh man, this is getting probably a bit messy. What is this expandable?
Um,
I'll just add this to. I don't know what it is, but it might be important.
is central crosscode is this down? Let me just quickly check. No, central crosscode.com is still up and running.
It seems like that our provider is kinda not so
Yeah,
stable
I had some
right now.
problems yesterday too.
Maybe it's just not working for some people.
Yeah, if this persists, we can just write our provider, and it's usually pretty fast in responding. So I still wonder why they don't update PHP Storm. Because right now, you currently run the 8.0 version, and I run the 10.0 version. I think it depends where you exit. It's down for me. All right, that's weird.
You guys, that code that I'm currently modifying is so messed up. Oh dear. The map editor is not really well written. It evolved way too much. So this is
Especially the VM map.js file.
yes.
Such a huge chunk of
and
code.
entities.js is also horrible.
Yeah.
Like everything about entities, how entities are selected, it's not. It's all hard coded. There's like one procedure that finds which entity is selected, and then it immediately sets this entities to selected entity. But now I want something else actually, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, the code that I write is not the cleanest.
Oh, here's a clicked entity thing. What is this? Oh my god, this is so primitive.
Well, it was code that you wrote, so.
Yeah. Yeah, but it works. I mean, of course, it doesn't have to be efficient. It's just a map editor.
Oh my god, a coding stream and I'm here. Mama, get the camera. I didn't miss it.
Great. I'm just thinking right now.
Hello, kitty.
Your kitty again wants attention.
Yeah, because my dad's currently not here.
Mm-hmm.
The kitty needs attention. It needs to stand on my feet.
Currently having some thoughts like our entity selection. Maybe it makes sense.
Yeah.
Gosh. I'm currently thinking about the controls. I thought you click with shift click, and if you select the entity, it's automatically added. But maybe it makes sense to first select the entity and then press a key to add it to a brush. Because first of all, that's easier to implement, but even more so, the problem right now is that when you click an entity, sometimes you will select something else that you don't expect, because entities are very often overlapping. So you usually
or very small.
Yeah, exactly. They're very small, so you just simply miss the entity. So maybe you want to have it like you first select the entity and then you press a key to add it to the brush. But then I'm thinking how to do this.
So what you want is basically 3 different modes.
3 different modes? You mean like the entity mode and the entity add mode and then the entity paint mode, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like this, but no, that's not. Thinking. Yeah, this sometimes happens during programming. You just think about stuff. You don't really know what to do.
I usually just type in random characters, and sometimes I end up with code.
But
That's how I added the Rumble feature. Do you really want to use this method?
What method?
This method, like, as far as I see it, you're currently trying to implement stuff into an already existing method, right? So wouldn't it make sense to extract some parts?
I'm really thinking about how the feature should actually be used, and not about implementation, but how it should be used.
Ah, all right.
And just implementing the shift-click in entity might be problematic because you might tend to just select the wrong entities. Then it gets really annoying. But maybe
True.
it's not that bad. Maybe we'll add a feature that it can just remove entities if it's wrong. So maybe we should just keep it that way. So you just yeah. So but wait. So you're right. I would just get clicked entity. That's something I'm going to implement.
Yeah. Hey, I heard you were making the demo shorter, says Master Bionicle.
That's
Yes,
true.
we're going to do that. If we can, I can talk a bit about the reasons again here. So it's coming from someone personal, basically. It's just like the announcement says. Basically, the demo, and we know everyone says like it's a huge demo and you have so much to play, but there lies the problem. There's just so much to play, so people don't really consider supporting further or buying the game and everything. So, and also it kind of we kind of got used to that process coming from the RPG Maker community, right? So there you just push everything you have, but normally you don't do this with a demo, right? Like you play a demo of a game and it usually features part of the game and that's it, not everything you have. But we did that. We basically pushed out everything we had. And so we have nothing with which we can hype people to say, look, this is something there's still more, you can play so much more. And that's what we want to do with the shorter demo. So now you get this little overview at the end of the demo and you see like, oh, there's so much new stuff and new people will get that. Like they will see, all right, there's new stuff and I can actually play this on the early access. So there's like an immediate effect there for that too. But you can still download the larger demo right now until Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
have absolutely nothing against you downloading it and sharing it whatsoever. We can totally understand that. We would do the same thing. But we talked a lot with a lot of people that, and Deck 13 also said it was like a good idea. And these guys are like, they know their stuff, right? They already published some games and they still live publishing games, which just speaks for itself, right?
Mm.
All right. I was reading something else here. How many memes will be featured? All of them, of course. What a question. How do I solve this problem as an experienced dev? All of these possible ways. How do I best solve this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know. I always like, how do I solve this in the most lazy but most efficient way? That's a good programmer. You should stagger the release of new materials so you always have a constant steady stream to release instead of putting everything up all at once. Yeah, that's what we want to do. That's the plan. Well, with early access, it's like beta testing, right? So people will be able to play more.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of sense. Now it's a little bit too late for like when we first published a demo. We should have kept something under wrap. But well, there are still new people coming to the game every day, and it also helps market the game a little bit better. Like on E3, probably would be better to have a short demo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If we are at E3.
We will not be at E3. Nope. Pretty unlikely.
Not personally.
Not personally, no. Well,
but the game will be.
Hopefully. The thing is that, I mean, we want this Indies Crash E3 thing, but those people are actually not writing us back about some questions that we ask. And I think it's highly unlikely that we will get those tickets. And even if we get those tickets, it would be very expensive to actually for us to fly to Los Angeles, get a hotel, and just to attend E3. And then I'm not really sure it's worth it. I mean, that's a lot of time we cannot spend working on CrossCode. There might be some marketing advantage, but it's probably not big enough to justify the cost that we will have. Okay, yeah. So I just implemented get a clean entity thing. The lagged entity add is called somewhere. I know it. Here it is. Okay. What's menu hidden? I'm just hacking all the way. This is the worst, really.
Will you be at Gamescom? We try. CrossCode won't be at... Oh, will it? I don't know what
Gamescom?
Deck 13 said about Gamescom.
So we will probably be at Gamescom. We will try to be. I mean, there's two ways. Deck 13 want to present CrossCode on Gamescom in a way, and there might be a way for us to be there ourselves as well. Because
yeah, I hope so. Like there is an... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Indie Arena seems to organize something, some kind of booth for indies to attend, and we should try to be on board with that too. At least we met somebody. We essentially met the guy who is organizing this at the RPC. So hopefully we will be able to get to Gamescom that way.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle of another event, a meetup in Bremen, I think. Or it's right before that or right after that, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they make it a little bit less, I don't know, crowded. Because the last time I remembered Gamescom, or the last time I was there, it was like really full, and it was the first time. And ever since then, people like tell me, yeah, it gets even worse with every year. Like imagine that, so many people. Like what was it? Like 250,000 people.
No, I think you can expect it to be very full.
Yeah, so many people. And you basically you have to like choose 2 games a day, and these 2 games are the games you will be able to play, because there's such a long linear, Felix.
Okay.
It's such a long line. Yeah, that's such a long line. I remember when we were there was like a Zelda Skyward Sword, and a friend just stood there for 3 hours. 3 hours just to play the game for 5 minutes. Funny enough, though, there was Rock Band 3 and nobody was playing that. Good for me. Have you guys heard of libgdx? I personally work with libgdx. I did a little shooter with it. We actually did together. Felix was in on the project too.
I did sprites.
He did the graphics. Yeah, you did the sprites. I like libgdx. I think it's pretty cool. It's a huge framework. It became a huge framework. Like it's so huge right now. So I'm not sure if you can like split this a little bit and say I want to use this and this module, but I remember that it was loading a lot of stuff I don't want to use, and libgdx also has lots of things to do with 2D and 3D, and it's really cool, like for Java and everything. But there's so little thing to do with sound. Like there's a music in the sound class, and you can play sound and you can loop music, and that's it. I think you can position sound, and that's it. So I don't know. It was like I was always like a little bit dissatisfied with the music stuff, with a lot of frameworks basically. But Logitech's still cool. The only problem is it's Java, so you need to write a lot of code to get something working.
Yeah, that comes with using Java.
Yeah. But it's not so bad. So. What was the first language you started coding with? RPG Maker script code.
I think for me it was actually JavaScript, though it was just some experiments with web stuff, like doing some hover buttons in HTML. That was my first steps in programming, actually. Then comes RPG Maker and then some other stuff.
The first larger thing I would say was Turbo Pascal for me.
Yeah, for me too. It's at school we did that.
I still remember I was writing an English-German translation tool for that, for my for the class project, and it was like it had mini games, like Hanging Man mini game, where you had to know the translation and fill in gaps of the letters and something like that. And it was basically meant for my niece, so she could learn English better. But yeah, it never got finished because there was this stupid 64 kilobytes cap. I couldn't do more stuff. I just hit them. Which library do you guys prefer right now? Library? You mean a framework for game creation? Then I have to say our engine. Yeah, it's like that. It's really like that. That's the reason why I use this engine, and we use this engine, right? Because we build it, we know what's in there, and we like it, and we can do.
If there is a bug, we
with
don't
it.
need to rely on any support. We can just fix it ourselves.
Yeah,
That's the
most
big advantage.
frameworks are on GitHub, right? So you can make a pull request, but it maybe takes some time too.
If it's open source.
If it's open source, yeah.
Like Unity
that's
isn't
all.
open source, for instance.
No, I think it's open source right now with Unity 5.
Oh, look, it's
Not sure.
Look,
not sure.
guys, it's derp. It's saying derp here. That's actually something I wrote in one of the. It's interesting. Okay, look, it's derp. That's the feature, anyway. Not really. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna press B now. And now I'm gonna press Shift and I click this entity. What happens? Nothing happens. If I now say game entity brush and say entity list, actually something did happen because our entity is in the list. It worked. At least that first thing. So now I'm gonna add this and this entity. It kind of sucks because you don't see which entity is currently selected and stuff.
That would be nice to know, yeah. Shen Kuyu asks, which no, I'm sorry. Are you working on CrossCode now? Would you change language for the game if you could? No, right? Like,
Nope, not at all. JavaScript is perfect.
It's the bomb. The bomb.
So I don't regret this technology at all, at least not when it comes to how it feels working with it. It's just that maybe the performance sometimes is a bit troublesome, the web context sometimes things could be a bit better here and there, but otherwise I really like working with JavaScript, so that's no issue at all for me. I mean, some people think that once CrossCode is over, I probably will look for other technologies, but I don't think that's likely. I really like JavaScript.
Yeah, me too. I was a little bit concerned at the beginning, but I was converted to the beliefs of the JavaScript.
So.
And I can totally see that if you like that kind of guy that just wants to like do some cool stuff and doesn't like to fiddle around with hardware specific stuff. Like if you like doing like hardcore shader stuff, C++, maybe C#, C is the stuff you go with.
Well, you can do shader stuff in WebGL too. But
yeah, you can shader, but like if you want to play around with how exactly data is shoved on the graphics card and stuff like that, like that's wow. I always admire people that can even do that. Like for me, that's nope. I nope that so hard. But if you like you can still. I loved it about JavaScript. Like in the beginning, I didn't thought like, all right, you can't write a framework with this. Like it would be too huge, because at the time I was thinking this all went into one large file, which was stupid, of course. But I didn't understand JavaScript that much at the time.
Right, so now
But I do
edit
now.
that whenever you add an entity, it's at least selected that way. So at least you get some feedback now. That helps.
Is it just me, or do you think libgdx documentation is a bit worse than other frameworks engines? Felt a bit messy to work with and needed a lot of research. Oh, I don't know. I never used the documentation much. It's open source, so if I was wondering what the function exactly did, I was just looking at the code. Yeah, documentation is like always something funky for me. Although the
No.
Java doc stuff, I read this sometimes, but it's quite possible the documentation lacks a bit of detailing. It's just a work in progress, right? So
So what I now implemented is that you can at least see the entities that is. I mean, you can at least add entities to a list. That's a
why are
beginning.
you using Sideway cross source code viewer?
Why?
What?
Why not?
Yeah, what's that Sideway?
I mean, I think that
You mean like the bars at the right side?
because it's nice to see the source code sometimes. I mean, I use this for debug panels here. Actually, when I get errors, I can see them down here. It just works for me.
Yeah, I like it on the side, but it's simple because the monitor has more width than height. So
Yep. And that's exactly the idea.
yeah. Especially if you have an HD monitor like Felix, it's pretty cool.
Whoa. Whoa. Why did you assume? Stupid. I should unplug the graphics tablet here. I don't need it.
Use ActionScript and Flash. Of course, let's do that, Felix.
How about no?
Let me summarize this. No.
Okay, I need to continue somehow. I think I will now at least implement some very basic interface here. Entity settings.
By the way, you said last time you want to talk a bit about collision detection and crosscode with projectiles. How you handle
Did I
that?
say I wanted to say it next time? I'm not sure.
No, you didn't say next time. It was the before the stream where we both streamed together. I remember this. That you said like we can talk about this sometime.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I will probably start talking about this, but yeah, it's a very big topic. I think I might start doing this sometime, but well, right now we're just working on the stuff that we currently need to make some progress. And we really need this entity brush. It's very
JavaScript,
important.
Shankuyu says JavaScript really powerful, and I know browsers universal. However, the no cross-plane support is a downside for me. libgdx can compile into JavaScript as well as Android, iOS, Windows, and Linux. JavaScript is cross-platform.
Yeah, in theory it runs on all the mobile devices, but it's not
Yeah.
quite as efficient as doing anything native.
Yeah, if libgdx when it compiles into JavaScript, it's actually less efficient than native JavaScript. Just because of the nature of how the compilation works, like you need to take the Java code and mutate it into JavaScript code, and JavaScript doesn't work like Java. It's two languages. They have both very different, not very different, but different philosophies behind them. And I tried that, and I know from experience. So I did a clone of the jumping cubes thing in Java, and one in JavaScript, and the one in JavaScript runs better than the one in Java. Weird, very weird. I think it's I don't know. Maybe I just need some optimization.
How am I gonna do this? Man, this is really tricky. So it's not going that smoothly because it's really, I really have
It's
to
no
hack
problem.
stuff. I don't like to hack stuff.
You can think about it. People are talking a little bit, so I can fill in the silence for you. Yeah, for the desktop version for our game, we actually use like a cross-platform tool, Node WebKit. So we got that covered too. We really should try this out. You should make some water plants. Yeah, I think water plants are better suited for the jungle area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something I really want to see in a jungle area. Plants on the water.
Yeah, I mean that's actually supposed to be a very cold area, so there actually shouldn't be too many plants.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Personally, I want to work with C#, but it's bad to learn because of the forced libraries. That's why I'm doing C++, and boy, it's much harder than Java, but
Okay.
more fun.
I'm gonna change some stuff here. I'm probably gonna move the entity brush into the edit entities thing. It might be easier that way because the edit entity needs to know if the entity brush is active, because things will be different then. Gosh, this is so horrible. Horrible.
Never used JavaScript before. It's very similar to Java.
No, it's very different.
I would say so
Very
too.
different. It's like Java is to JavaScript as ham is to hamster. Like there's Java in there, but otherwise it's a entirely different thing. I mean Java is like very static typed, and JavaScript is very dynamically typed. And Java, everything is very controlled. In JavaScript, you can just do anything, and it's not a number, and not a number will just spread through your code. And these are just some examples. And one is running in the web browser, and the other one used to run the web browser, but not that much these days.
Yeah, I think nobody uses applets anymore. Yeah, probably it's better idea to just compile the Java code into JavaScript and let it run natively.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Applets are also a huge security concern, so. But isn't Unity for 3D? Unity isn't necessarily for 3D. You can also do 2D with it. They explicitly created tools for that. So, but it was supposed to be at the beginning. It was the idea like, hey, let's write a framework that people can use to create 3D games easier. But when you have a tool with which you can create 3D games, you can also create 2D games with it always, because you just make the camera orthographic, right? And that's your perspective. Orthographic, was this the right term? Or orthogonal?
I'm not really listening all that much. Sorry.
No, I'm just thinking out loud. That's alright. People in the chat know what I mean. They know what I mean. You mean some Sarah just means some plants in the water. Actually, there is something we will do, and that will be like you have water that is a little bit more transparent and you can see through it. Actually, there was a screenshot Felix posted on Twitter.
Yeah,
from the Rookie Harbor
asking
area.
Anybody.
That's alright. That's alright.
So
It wasn't even finished because the water wasn't really at the edges. It wasn't really.
Yeah, the highlight is missing still, right?
Yeah, but that's just small thing to do, and then it actually already looks cool.
Yeah, it looks
Adding some
nice.
sparklings in that, and we're done.
Sparklings, like with sparkling shoes.
No, the sparkling we also have in the autumn area.
Yeah.
We can just make an animated tile for that and boop.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool because we don't use some entities to have this transparency. It's just transparency in the tile set. So cheap, but it works. What do you mean you don't know if you can learn there? I'm not sure.
What you can what?
I don't know. Candy tree. I don't know what you mean. Applets don't even run in Chrome anymore. There you go. That's funny. Want to know how the libraries and so on work? And has probably some basic codes where I have to work. I apologize, I'm still a beginner. Oh, yeah. That's all right, Nicroman. We all started somewhere. As much as I heard, the Unity community is pretty large. So if you have any questions, the community probably has an answer for you. But still, at some point, when you make a game, you always have to understand coding to some extent. It's just vital for like, especially it comes to movement and things. Like there are so many games that have actually really good graphics, but the movement is so bad. And that's like that's sad, right? Like this game looks so good, but controls are really really bad.
But something unexpected happened. Please check your browser errors console. That's new. I never saw this error message like this.
Excuse me for a second.
And now everything works. Yeah, whatever. What was this? I have no idea, guys. Okay, I press B. Everything works. I press Shift. I click an entity, and I get an
Nothing
error.
works. And the error is so hardcore that the browser just
No,
says...
it's just basic stuff. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I'm currently just refactoring code, not implementing anything new, but it just got too messy. Just to quickly explain what I just did, there are like these two classes right now in our map editor. There's this global editor class, which has most of the stuff, and then there's this edit entity class, which handles the editing of entities. And before I put the entity brush inside the main editor class. But it turns out that the edit entity class takes care of displaying things like the entity settings panel. Look, there's another error, whatever. And I don't want to display this setting when the entity brush is active. But edit entities doesn't know if that's active because it's in the global class. I mean, I could just query from the global class, but that's just too much spaghetti code for me. So I decided it would be better if I put the entity brush inside this edit entity component. And then I had to do some refactoring. So oh, yeah, undo is not available. And here I don't care about spaghetti code, whatever. Undo is just global.
Everything is global in CrossCode already, so...
Yeah, we think globals are cool. So far it worked out fine.
Yeah, I mean, we could actually we make the globals available. We could also like get them through functions because we. I still don't know how other frameworks. I can't imagine that Unreal does this differently. They have singletons all the way. I don't believe otherwise.
Okay.
Right, because imagine how difficult it would be that you need to pass your game object and your game environment and some like your sound system through your function. Like that would mean you have huge function calls and stuff like that. So I believe in every game engine there's some kind of singleton stuff going on. It's in Unity too, so.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's really, games are not systems that need to be scalable in arbitrary ways, I think.
Right.
And all these like singleton pairs are critical if you want to have a system that's perfectly scalable. I just realized the chat is not really... Oh, I'm sorry guys, so now you can actually see the chat bottom. Anyway, so games are not designed. Game systems don't need to be scalable in arbitrary ways. So you don't need all these create patterns like singletons. I mean, not singletons, like factories and whatnot, to actually make it entirely scalable for all kind of situations. Because when you do this, you also always sacrifice performance, and that's actually pretty important for games. And games are kind of like this enclosed system. At one point you have your game and it doesn't scale in any dramatic ways, except for more content. So, and that's why I think that singletons are actually working pretty well. Just to give an example, CrossCode will just have one type of camera, and it's very unlikely that we will add another type of camera. So why not just have it as a singleton, and that's it. Okay, so everything is broken? No, it's working.
Everything's broken.
No, it seems to work. So okay, now I actually have the entity brush inside an entity, so now I can adapt this code that I don't want to see the stupid entity settings here, but instead I just want to, if this entity brush active, by all means please just hide the freaking entity settings. I don't want those. Also, that's here something I probably will remove. You know, like that's some remaining stuff from the original weltmeister editor, that entity settings are fading in, and then the settings are loaded after it faded in. That's not important, right, Stefan? Do you need that the entity settings fade in or out?
Not at all.
Okay, so I will just remove it now, because I had the same thing for the layer settings, and this actually resulted in some really strange errors. So I don't like this. I mean, that's essentially the point where I think animations are really in the way. When you have animations, they should never really delay the update of the state. If you do that, you get a lot of problems in any kind of application. Actually, we have a bug in the circuit menu, Stefan. You probably have
We
to...
do.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting. It's reproducible also in debug mode. You have to leave and enter quickly again. Like very quickly.
Alright.
It will crash.
Very
yeah.
quickly.
Yes.
It will crash.
It will crash.
Wait, yeah. What?
Yes.
Alright.
And we got a bug report.
Wait.
Somebody actually found this out. And I wrote some bug report now in U-Track.
Alright. I didn't get a mail.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we have to check how the mail system works there. But you can see it. It should be assigned to you. I think. Maybe I didn't assign it to you.
Yeah. No, I can take a look at it. It sounds like something to do with the transitions.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Because
I had expected there's something with the transitions. It's something else. It couldn't be something else. Like what? Only if you do it fast. And
Yeah.
I think I know why it's why I can imagine what it is.
yeah, but it's reproducible in debug mode, so it should be easy to fix.
The detail or menu or the overview
You have to go
menu?
into the detail view, and then you have to leave and enter again very quickly. Something like
Alright.
this, like left right click.
Right. I just quickly checked that. I want to see the error. Just the
Yeah.
error message.
I hope that you can reproduce it. I mean, it worked for me
Yep.
at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's interesting. We never noticed this up to now.
Yeah, it's a button group error. That's probably because the transition deletes the button group, something like that.
Oh my. Yeah, that's what I mean. So when you have the state changes and it's kind of delayed because of transitions and stuff, you always get in these kind of complicated situations that if you change the state too often, there might be some overlapping and then things get messed up. So that's
Yeah,
why I
I can't
usually try to avoid this.
Oh boy, this is really stupid error. Why?
Is it hard to fix?
No, not at all.
Actually, look, I did something like the other way around. I hide the settings and then I load the settings. And when no entity is displayed, I just show the settings. No,
Awesome.
it does make sense. So, okay. Else this.
Oops.
And instead I want to show the entity. No, not this. Actually, I will. There's this toggle. Possibility what? No, not this toggle. There's too much toggling. Okay. If this entity brush is active, we will do the following.
Yeah,
This,
that's
right?
now I see how the arrow. There's some index -1. It's probably because of an
Oh
animation.
yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. That's easy. Oh, that's actually a cool bug report.
Yeah,
Something
it's some.
something that's reproducible and fixable very easily.
Yeah,
I like those. I
yeah,
like
those are
those.
awesome. Yeah.
There is no such thing as an ideal language.
No.
Was Deutsch ist gut? No, I get the question.
What? Assembly is perfect. Yeah, if you want
Assembly
to
is
spend a
perfect.
lot
It's
of time.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. Everything is right. When you look at it, you know exactly what it does. That's assembly.
Hmm.
I always imagine that there are really people that have this kind of vision of assembly code. They look at assembly code and they see the routines and everything.
Like in the
I
Matrix.
don't know how they do it. They're some kind of magicians or something, but
Mm.
they can do it.
Amazing.
Every language is good. I don't agree.
Also like brainfuck, or what was the language
Yeah.
called?
Ever tried brainfuck?
Yeah.
No, it's
look, the
it's like fun.
oh, entities are disappearing. Yay. What?
That's a good sign.
No, stop it. I click entities and they disappear. Yay, I can delete stuff. Huh. How did this happen?
What
Hmm.
what are you doing? And there again is this
Oh.
yellow background.
I think I know why.
At some point, we have to find where this yellow. Also, as something I noticed lately, when dragging an entity, it is only drawn as a box, right? Just like the color, because it's in an element or something. The editor actually lags.
If what?
If you like teleport ground, or you have a teleport ground and you make it larger, right?
Mm-hmm.
You increase you scale it, and it actually lags the editor.
Okay.
Not sure why this is. I assume it's something with creating
Then
new objects,
I think I found the reason why entities are disappearing.
because you made them disappear.
Well, implicitly. Not that this was my intention.
Nicroman asks, is there really a library necessary if you am interested in making 2D games? No, there isn't necessarily a need for you to use a library, but it makes your life very, very easy to use at least a rendering engine. Even we do this kind of, because the Canvas API is in Framework 2. In JavaScript, it's the only way to draw draw something. So yeah, it makes your life much easier. If you're like a very talented programmer, you can make your own engines. But I guess this is like huge work. Like, I can't even imagine how much work you need to put into that. Like, even if we have our own engine, we use other engines. Like, we also use jQuery for the editor. We use CryptJS and CryptoJS. And all those HTML5 APIs like the Web Audio API, the Canvas API, the Controller API, Gamepad API.
I am programming right now. You will notice that I'm not very talkative when I do this.
Yeah, just reading for shit, so.
Okay, mouse move, mouse down.
No one builds everything on their own. Not today anymore, no. I mean, it's probably why there are so many people creating creative stuff. Because there are people who create engines.
Oh no!
Other people create.
Oh no, it's working. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, everything's.
Do you have the same no, it's just like lagging. Alright.
Okay.
So any more questions while Felix is browsing through the code? I always imagine that someone does screenshots every time you switch the file or scroll and somehow copies our engine. through
Good luck with that, huh? Just that won't be any fun.
That won't be any fun. I agree. Although I had some fun creating some part of the engine. Actually, every part of the engine. The only thing I didn't like was nothing.
Okay.
Or was there something? Maybe the sound system.
Didn't like this?
No, I was still new to JavaScript at the time, and it was like a little bit. I needed your help all the time, and
You actually still need to extend the sound system sometime.
yeah, I know.
Ah, snap! I knew it. We
Me
already
too.
have a
But
mouse
you-
move
but
function.
all right. I just want to say you say it first.
But here, oh gosh. I'm just gonna.
Nostrabot says I missed index PHP line 337. Show please. Please show the index PHP file, Felix. We can do that. That's okay.
What, index PHP? Sure.
Yeah.
Here. It's huge, I know.
Wow, so much code there.
Mm,
Welcome to the index page.
yeah.
Killer X, yes, we're making CrossCode right now. A game about throwing balls. I chuckled at line 337.
What was there?
No, it's just
It's 347? No, I have to
chat.
see.
Twitch chat being Twitch chat.
Oh,
It's just couple humor all the way.
what are 300 euro?
Um,
Just
what friend use? I don't know. What?
mouse move, mouse move.
So some figurine stuff. What is the longest class with the most lines? Oh, I don't know.
How to
Probably
say?
the Weltmeister. How much?
Probably
lines-
Game.js.
Really?
Game.js
Yeah, maybe
is
some
probably
of
one
the-
candidate. It's like, whoa, oh, Physics.js. Let's see.
Oh wait.
Physics.js. Wait for Physics.js. This one is hardcore.
There's an easy way to do this, Felix.
100.
We have
Yeah, Physics.js so far the largest. Yeah, map.
the longest is the jQuery. Ha.
Oh, yes, actually VM map is currently the longest.
It's
it turns
right,
out.
like yeah, I see it right now here in the clock.
Ah, you have
Clock.
clock, right? Yeah.
Yeah, in clock you can see which is the longest. It's really VM map. Holy shit!
It's really
After that is a JSON editor.
The JSON. Oh yeah, of course. That's one file where we put a lot of stuff. That one was, oh gosh, and we not even using it that much these days. It's horrible.
It's horrible. I'm so sorry. Please don't hit me.
Okay, I will call this one mouse hover because that's a better name.
But actually, no wait. It's Sound.js.
Sound.js.
Sound.js has a little bit has 30 lines more than VM map.js.
Whoa. Okay.
So